Hi, welcome back to our 10 Days of Hope Challenge. I'm Wendy Pickett. I'm from Willow in the Wood. Have you ever walked into someone's home and they had, a sofa and you could see they had a table and chairs and you looked around and there really wasn't much else. It was very serviceable. They had maybe a TV, a little end table, but it was very plain, very basic. It took care of their needs, but that was it. Many lives are like that. They're basic. We have what it is that we need. And yes, that is a blessing to have what we need. However, some lives are very dull. There's no excitement. There's nothing to give us any joy in what it is that we do. We know we have to make our meals, we have to keep our place tidy, and we need to feed ourselves, and we need to have some income coming in. A lot of people just have the weekend. It's like, oh, they look forward to the weekend. But what do they do on the weekend? Chances are they stay at home. They watch TV. They might get caught up on their chores that they weren't able to do during the week because they were so busy with their work. Well, this is your life. Take a look at your life. How are you doing with having some excitement, some joy in your life? It's going to be different for everybody. So I can't tell you what's going to make you happy, what's going to give your life that extra zing. For me, I know that when I was going through a real hard time in my life, the thing that really brought me joy was I was in a concert band, a community concert band. So Thursday nights, I would get my flute and I would quickly wash the dishes after feeding the family and I would escape. And that's what it felt like to me. I was escaping my life. And there it was different. People were happy to see me. I wasn't the person who was in charge of the cleaning and the chores. I was a part of this community of musical people. Afterwards, a lot of times we would go out and have a pop and maybe have a snack at a restaurant before we all went back to our own homes. I truly believe that the people in that community band, my friends, my time away from my life saved my life at that point. If I didn't realize there was something outside of my basic life, I would have never reached for it. So being able to have people respect me and treat me well, to laugh with, to have fun with, instead of everything just being a chore, that made such a huge difference in my life. Such a huge difference. If anybody from that time in my life is watching, I just want to thank you. I even ended up writing a poem about somebody, how they made me feel. I'll go ahead and recite that poem. It was called Reflections. It's a double entendre, has two different meanings. So here it is. In your eyes, I see a kinder reflection. Who is that heart, that face, that soul who you perceive to be me? It's not who I see when I look in the mirror. I throw shadows and doubts at it to see if it'll falter and fade. But through it all, that unlikely image remains. How odd. How wonderful. You see, when I looked in the mirror, I just saw the person who was responsible for taking care of the kids, getting the laundry done, making sure dinner was done, keeping the house cleaned. Even though I worked outside of the home part-time, my main personality was all centered around the care and feeding of other people. So for me to be able to go out, it was just such a joy. It was the cherry on my ice cream. Now, think about having a salad. Salads are okay, some people really like salads, but what makes them good? It's the stuff we put on them. It's the croutons, it's the nuts, it's the dressing. So our lives are basic. We all have the same basic needs, but it's the little things of joy that we bring into our lives. We're not meant just to be here and suffer and toil. That's not why we were created. We have a purpose in life, and we don't have to do it in negative space. We can create beauty in our space. One of our sessions was about that, about creating a space for yourself. Well, now, how about creating a life for yourself? Not just doing the same things over and over again. It doesn't have to be that every day requires a cherry. It doesn't have to be that every spot on your dressers has to have something beautiful on it. As a matter of fact, if you have too much, it can get lost. You don't appreciate what you've got as much. A huge cherry in my life was 2 years ago on my birthday. We went to France. I went to Paris. As a matter of fact, I received a birthday wish from a limo driver on my birthday who was in Paris, thanks to my husband, telling everybody it was my birthday. But that was very special. And it's up to us to create the life that we want, keeping in mind what our purpose is. And yes, we have to take care of the basics, but we can have a cherry. We can have croutons. We can have stained glass windows. We can have flowers planted in our flower garden. We can have a dinner for friends once a month. If finances are tough, make it a potluck. Spend time with your friends, the people who you love. When I moved up here to, one of the reasons was to be closer to my adult children. I miss them. I lived down in Southern California and they lived up here. So even though I moved up here, it seemed like I never saw them. I was so frustrated. And I decided one day, I said, you know what? We need to have a family dinner. So I talked to them about it. And once a month, the first Sunday of the month, we would gather and we would have dinner together. And we had just started that. I think we did 2 or 3 of those before all this started. We're going to get back on that schedule again, because that truly is the cherry on top for me. So today, your challenge is to create some cherries. Create beauty. Create joy in your life. You know you're going to do all the chores and things that you have to do anyway. Make some extra. Put some extra on top. And allow others to make some extra on their top too. Talk to your spouse. What would be their cherry? What is it that would make their life worth living even more? Going to work over and over again. The drudgery can be suffocating. We need those occasional times out. We need those, the fun in our life. So that's it for today. I challenge you to create some fun, some joy, some beauty in your life. You decide what that is for you and share with me what it is and how you've created that. That would be a cherry for me. That's all for now. We've got one more day. I look forward to seeing you on that day. Until then, have a beautiful day.